Baby keeps holding his belly. Father is in shock when he realized why. A father notices his baby keeps clutching his belly while everyone else dismisses it as nothing. But when he follows his instincts, the shocking truth in the hospital changes everything and proves a parent's love can save a life. Before watching, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss another heart-gripping story like this one. The living room was quiet that afternoon, sunlight slipping through the blinds and drawing pale stripes across the blue sofa. On the floor sat little Leo, barely 1 year old, dressed in his mustard yellow outfit. His round cheeks glowed with warmth, his bare feet pressed flat against the white tiles. Yet something about him was different. His head bowed, his hands pressed firmly against his belly as though it carried a secret. Daniel, his father, had been sorting through bills at the dining table, but the stillness pulled his attention. Normally, Leo babbled endlessly, clapping at shadows or reaching for toys scattered nearby. Now, he was silent, focused on his own tiny body. Daniel walked over and crouched. "Hey, buddy," he said softly, his voice carrying a cautious cheer. "What are you doing down there? You hiding something in that belly of yours?" Leo didn't laugh. He didn't even look up. Instead, he shifted his palms across his tummy, pushing gently, then letting out a soft whimper that pricked Daniel's ears. "Hey. Hey." Daniel's smile faded. He touched his son's shoulder carefully. "Does it hurt?" The boy pressed harder, his face scrunching into a frown. His breathing grew heavier, short puffs through his nose. Daniel froze. He had seen gas pains before. Restless kicking, quick cries, then relief. But this was different. The baby was not thrashing or wailing. He was trying to show him. "Leo, look at me." Daniel tilted his chin up gently, but Leo's eyes flickered only for a second before dropping back to his belly. His small fingers spread as though guarding something precious or something fragile. Daniel swallowed, unease, tightening his throat. From the kitchen, his wife called, "What's going on now?" "He's always touching himself." "You worry too much." Daniel glanced back. "It's not normal this time. He's trying to tell me something." A sigh came from the kitchen. Pots clattered. "Daniel, he's a baby. You're reading into things. Babies cry. Babies hold their stomachs. Don't turn every twitch into an emergency." Daniel's jaw clenched. He looked again at his son, who let out another faint whimper, curling forward slightly. A tremor of fear passed through him. "Leo. Show Daddy. Does it hurt here?" He placed his hand gently against the boy's belly. The child gasped, tiny, sharp, before clamping his hands over Daniel's, holding them there as if begging him to understand. That was enough. Daniel scooped him into his arms, holding him against his chest. The baby's head fell onto his shoulder, still pressing his palm to his belly between them. "It's okay," Daniel whispered, his voice breaking. "I've got you. Daddy's here." He rocked him, pacing across the room, his mind racing with possibilities. Appendicitis, blockage, something worse. The very thought made his chest tighten. He looked down. Leo's eyes were half-lit, exhausted, but his hand hadn't moved. "Daniel." His wife's voice snapped from the kitchen doorway. "Where are you going?" "I'm taking him in," Daniel said firmly, already reaching for the diaper bag by the sofa, her face pinched. "To the hospital again. You drag us there for every sniffle. They'll think you're paranoid." "He's fine." Daniel turned sharply, holding his son tighter. "Does fine look like this to you?" "He's not playing. He's not laughing. He's telling me the only way he can that something's wrong, and I won't wait until it's too late." His voice rose, trembling with both anger and fear. The baby stirred, letting out a weak cry, pressing his belly harder against Daniel's chest. The sound pierced the air. Even the mother fell silent. Daniel grabbed his keys, his eyes locked on the front door. You can stay if you want, but I'm not risking my son's life because you think I'm overreacting. The weight of his words lingered as he stormed outside, the hot air hitting him like a wave. He strapped Leo into the car seat gently, his hands shaking, his mind spiraling through worst-case scenarios. The boy whimpered again, his small fist still glued to his belly. Daniel slid into the driver's seat, gripping the wheel, whispering to himself as much as to his child. Hold on, buddy. Daddy's going to find out what's wrong. I swear to you, I won't let them ignore this. As the engine roared to life, he glanced back. His son's wide, uncertain eyes met his in the rear-view mirror. Daniel's chest tightened further. It wasn't just a baby's quirk. It was a plea, a cry no one else wanted to hear, and Daniel was determined to be the only one who would. The hospital smelled of antiseptic and fear. Daniel carried Leo through the sliding glass doors, clutching him tighter than the diaper bag slung across his back. The baby whimpered softly, one tiny hand pressed against his belly, the other clutching the collar of his father's shirt. At the reception desk, a nurse in pale scrubs looked up. Sir, what's the emergency? My son, Daniel said quickly. He keeps holding his stomach. He's not acting right. Something's wrong. The nurse gave the boy a cursory glance, her tone calm, almost dismissive. Could be gas, constipation, common in toddlers. Have you tried? Daniel's voice cracked as he cut her off. Look at him. He's not laughing. He's not playing. He won't let go of his belly. Please don't brush this off. Do the tests. I don't care how small you think it is. The firmness in his voice made her pause. She scribbled something, then gestured toward a set of double doors. Okay, let's get him checked. Inside, fluorescent lights hummed overhead. A young doctor examined Leo, gently pressing his stomach. The boy whimpered, flinching, his hands shooting back to shield himself. Daniel's chest ached at the sight. The doctor frowned. He's definitely tender here. We'll run some imaging just to be safe. Do everything, Daniel said, his voice sharp. I don't care how long it takes. Hours dragged on. Tests, blood draws, ultrasounds. Each moment stretched Daniel thinner, sitting in the corner of the sterile room with his son cradled against him. His wife arrived eventually, arms folded, muttering that this was an overreaction. But when Leo let out a sudden, sharp cry as the probe pressed against his side, even she fell silent. Finally, the doctor returned holding a folder, his face heavier now. Mr. Hayes, you were right to bring him in. Daniel shot to his feet, heart hammering. What is it? The doctor exhaled. Your son has an intestinal blockage. It's serious, but because you brought him early, we can treat it before it becomes life-threatening. Another day, maybe even a few more hours, and it could have been catastrophic. Daniel's knees nearly gave out. He looked at Leo, who was nestled against his chest again, half asleep from exhaustion, still guarding his belly. Relief flooded him, but with it came a wave of horror at what could have happened. The doctor continued, we'll need to keep him for observation. Maybe minor surgery if it doesn't resolve on its own. But he's going to be okay. You saved him. Daniel's throat tightened. He kissed the top of Leo's bald head, whispering. You hear that, buddy? Daddy heard you. Daddy believed you. His wife sat down slowly, eyes wide, guilt spreading across her face. She reached toward the boy, but stopped halfway. I didn't think. Daniel's voice was steady, though his eyes were wet. I don't care what anyone thought. He spoke the only way he knew how. And I listened. That's all that mattered. For the next 2 nights, Daniel barely left the hospital room. He watched every rise and fall of his son's chest, every flutter of his eyelids. Nurses came and went. Doctors checked vitals, but Daniel remained the anchor. And slowly the boy's strength returned. His little hands no longer clung desperately to his belly. By the second morning, when he reached out instead for his toy car, Daniel nearly broke down in tears of gratitude. When they were finally discharged, the doctor's words stayed with him. Trust your instincts. Parents know more than they think. At home, Daniel lowered Leo onto the floor. The boy sat cross-legged in his yellow outfit, his eyes brighter now. He looked at his father, then patted his belly once, this time not with fear, but as if to say thank you. Daniel smiled, kneeling in front of him. You scared me, buddy. But you taught me something. I'll never let anyone silence what I know in here. He pressed his own hand against his chest. Not when it's about you.